Hello, my friends. How are you doing? Today is the last day of 2021. So let's have a look back at the year. And of course, I want to wish you a happy new year, a good start into 2022. I think from here on out, it can only get better. And to be honest, I have already recorded a video about half an hour long where I talk about the good gear and the bad gear and the plans and all these kind of things. And then now I was cutting it in the video software and was like, no, this is a personal moment. I want to talk not to you, but with you. And also, I want to know in the comments, what kind of things are you looking for in 2021? What kind of things did you have struggle with in 2021? Because, I mean, there were lots of ups and downs in the last year. It was really a roller coaster ride. So many crazy things happening and hopes and dreams, but then also some things crushing down, and that just didn't work out, right? And we want to go on with our lives, but then we can't. And I think a big factor of that is the pandemic doesn't have a face. There isn't like an enemy, a bad guy that can say, oh, this, I don't know, this kind of, person or whatever is to blame for that. No, it's just a natural event that is happening and that we have to face and struggle through somehow. And I think everybody knows a friend or even a family member who has died from the pandemic. So this is a very real, sad thing that is happening for us, with us in it. But at the same time, if we look at what we have done as mankind, we have found so many ingenious solutions because this is who we are as people. We are the smart ape who always finds a door, who always finds a way out. And even in the darkest of hours, we find new chances, new freedoms, new hopes. That is really amazing. It's really positive to see that, right? For me, one of the biggest signs, one of the biggest and interesting things that happened is that people found a way to work from home. And as strange as that might sound, that is a lot of individual freedom. That is a lot of getting back who you are and doing what you want with your life. Instead of suffering in a gray cubicle in some kind of skyscraper, you can be with your family and you can even travel and do your work at the same time. And the first time we tried to work together on a global level over the internet, not just like posting stuff on the internet or sending a contract to another continent, but actually having sessions in Zoom and doing e-learning and all these kind of things, getting a degree over the internet on a mankind scale, not on an individual, oh, you're going to do that, you're a digital nomad kind of scale, but everybody at the same time trying that and seeing, well, it kind of works. Of course, there's also some downsides with that connected. First of all, being in a room and being in a chat room is not the same thing. We still have to find better solutions for that. And of course, working from home and at the same time having a lockdown or an isolation is a lot of struggle on the psyche of the people, but also on the glue that keeps together the family. There's been a lot of problems inside of families with that, a lot of violence also. That's really bad. And we have to find better solutions for that too. But at the same time, it's a way forward at the same time where we find solutions and we improve and we learn to cope with that. So after all that struggle and after all that suffering, there is also some good and some light and some hope. And that's really good. And this is also where I think it can only get better in 2022, right? And of course, then we have technological revolutions, right? For photography, for videography, for 3D, for AR, like augmented reality, for virtual reality, all these kind of things, right? New concepts that really change how we can edit photos, how we can capture photos, how we can tell stories. Such amazing things. And if you think about this is happening during a pandemic and still we are pushing on and we are coming up with new concepts. And I think this also opened the door. I know a lot of people like, yeah, metaverse and Zuckerberg, and that was really a joke and it was a bad presentation and what is he talking about? But it is still a future, you know. He presented it in a very strange way, to be honest. I didn't like his presentation, but if you think about AR and VR, it's already part of our lives. If you don't understand augmented reality, just think about the filters we have where you can, for example, put a virtual hat or sunglasses or some other goofy effect on your face and share it with your family or friends or online followers. That is an application that's really giving a new dimension to how we can create pictures and tell stories and interact with each other, right? So that's pretty cool, right? This is opening something up. And oh, my new favorite toy, I have to talk about this. This is not like a headset in the sense of really expensive. No, this is just a case and you put your smartphone inside. Look at that. You put your smartphone inside here, and then you have VR, you can look at 360 photographs and videos that you can find on YouTube, and that you can also capture yourself. For example, one of my favorite tools is the GoPro Max, a 3D camera, not a 3D camera, a 360 camera. And I'm so amazed because the big difference with this headset, this is the big thing. With this headset here, the things that you look at have the original size. So if there is a big building, you have to look up to see the big building. And if there's a little detail down there, you have to look down at that. It has the original scale, and you can find so many little details in there. So we came from a time where we had like Super 8 analog video, like really small analog video, and then negative film printed on paper, stuff like that. And now we are surrounded by pictures 360 degrees, and we also have the beginnings of augmented reality and of this kind of metaverse thing where we are connected together in virtual rooms, stuff like that. Zoom is not really that, but it's a starting point for that, all these kind of online conferences. So that is amazing. It's really impressive. And I think this is really the start to a new kind of way how we create pictures, how we tell stories to each other. So I'm extremely hopeful for that. I personally want to dive more into that and maybe share a little bit also of that experience on my channel, on the things that I learned, because from the starting point of getting this gear and understanding how to edit the pictures and also how to set up my smartphone to get the best results was kind of a learning curve, but at the same time I understood it really quickly to get better results. And then you're just blown away by the possibilities of that. And it's $40. It's really cheap, you know. So yeah, that was amazing. But let's also talk about us. Let's talk about the crazy year we had together, right? On the channel, all the things we did, you know, all these kind of challenges and live streams and this kind of the micro world that I created for you, and also the Benny Productions challenge and all these kind of things. It was so crazy. When I look at these kind of videos, we can actually switch over to my here to my channel to look at the videos. Look at all the stuff that has been created. Some photo shootings that I did that I shared with you. I want to do more of it. That my first tries to travel and then share with you the photo experience. I also want to do more of that, to share the photo process, the ideas, how I use my camera, stuff like that. And the more I dive into that, the more I connect with other photographers and see how they work. It is so interesting to see that everybody has their own expression, and it is not easy to take a good photo. So to share that and to learn also from other people, to connect with them and to bring this information together is really crucial. It's really important. And it's so beautiful that we can do that through YouTube, that also we as a community can connect in that way. Like, for example, here's another thing. Next year, I already have 2 plans. I will stay 1 month, almost 1 month in London. This is a planned program where I want to do some networking and find new opportunities to teach people about photography and photo editing and about e-learning, all these kind of things. So that's a project I'm going to do. And then I'm going to be in the United States because there is a big conference. It's called the VidCon. It's a big YouTube conference in Los Angeles, and my plan is to travel. Sorry, let's switch back for a second. My plan is to travel from the West Coast, where Los Angeles is, to the East Coast, where New York is, across all of America, and do a photo project in that time. Also, hopefully meet a lot of you. Maybe you can even join me on that travel if you have a car or even a van where we can go for some mileage and then you drive back and I go on the journey. Great. Awesome things happening. Yeah. So I'm always happy about these adventures and always trying to reach new goals and break new limits and find new ways on how I can create and design my own life and share these experiences with you, so I can also enable you to do these same things, or not the same things, but do them in your way. And of course, like, I also learn a lot from you when we have these conversations, when I ask you the questions in my Facebook group, which you should absolutely join, by the way. I think right now we have over 3,800 members. Lovely community, so helpful, sharing all these amazing ideas, answering questions. Really, really cool community. Everybody is positive. I have, in all the time, I think it's now 2 years I have the community, I had a single problem. I had one user I had to ban, and that's it. Everybody else was amazing and lovely and really beautiful. And also on YouTube, everybody's so positive and caring. It's so nice. Let's look at the other things we did here. Wow, so many things. Like, look, the live stream for Halloween, where I did this really nice composite and the sci-fi composite, the micro worlds. Talking about raw photography and Nick collection. I want to do more videos about that. So many cool things. Wow, it was a great year. Also, the start where I do online courses. I'm still working on my Affinity Photo Beginners course. I want to do it as good as possible to give people who are new to photo editing a really nice start. And in that, I want to cover not just the software, but also these kind of questions you have at the beginning, because I try to remember, how was it for me? How did I learn that process? I had so many questions about what kind of computer, what kind of hard drive, what kind of system should you get, what's the difference between this and that camera. I talk a little bit about that in that course, and then also about the software, about the different artistic directions you can go. So as a beginner, you have kind of a grasp and you have more safety for experimenting with these tools. Let's look at what else has happened here. So cool. Wow, all these things like different text effects we have done. Wow. So there are patterns. Yeah. Wow. Remember all these things, these kind of 3D text things here. Oh, my trip to Thailand. Wow. That was amazing and a disaster at the same time. I bit up more than I could chew by thinking, hey, I just go there for like 6 weeks and then I take awesome photos, share that with you. Of course, inside of a pandemic, everything was closed. I thought, hey, I can make amazing photos for you, you know, like photographing elephants and apes and wildlife and beaches and temples and monks, and share that with you, and create stories and show you how I edit that. And then everything was closed, the nature parks and the reservoirs and the animal sanctuaries and the temples, and it was just, you couldn't really go anywhere. Of course, some local markets had open and some small temples, but that's it. And it was raining all the time because, of course, I went right in the middle of monsoon season, so it was craziness all over. Kind of an adventure in that sense. And I'm not the person who is too sad about these things, because at the same time it's a learning experience. And then I did the Barcelona trip, and that was a bit better. And then I'm going to do more trips next year and learning with every step. And I love these challenges. I'm more this kind of adventure guy where I need some kind of struggle so it feels fresh and interesting, right? Also, by the way, you might be surprised by that, and let me know if you're the same. I don't have a driving license. I need to get a driving license start of next year, and I wanted to do it right when I came back from Thailand, but I didn't, because it is so expensive. It is so expensive. In Austria, a driving license costs 2,500 euros. That's so much money. the camera gear I could get for that, the amazing stuff I could do for you with that money. But then I think I have to pay that because I need a car to get around, to make interesting photos, to get into interesting situations that you just can't do on your own with a bus or with a train. And also my gear is becoming bigger and heavier all the time. So a car is really great for that. And I hope this is also the start of like a more free and adventurous life. Let me know what your kinds of plans are. Do you want to settle down? Do you want to get out into the world? Maybe you want to do both at the same time. I know a lot of people who settle down in the sense of retirement on the road, right? By building their own caravan or settling down in a different country and just opening up a new chapter to their life. It's never too late to get started with something new. And at the same time, I found that each challenge in life is always backed up by society, in the sense that we are just good people. Mankind, even with all the things that happen and that are sad sometimes, is most of the time helpful and happy and positive and really want to support you, especially if you do something that they also dream about, like traveling, like starting something new, like being an explorer in all kinds of senses, So yeah, do what you want to do in life and enjoy that, and even inside of a pandemic, we can find ways to reinvent ourselves, to find new freedoms, to explore new ways. Might it be at home with technology, or in your garden with your camera, or might it be out in the world where you try to still go across borders and meet other scenarios, maybe even other people in a safe way, of course. So yeah, it has so much potential, and there's always something we can do. And it's so positive that to see that even in this dire situation where the whole of mankind, the whole of the planet is kept in how do you say in a struggle by a pandemic, but still we're going forward. We're inventing new things. We are breaking new limitations of what we can do, announcing new, like with the metaverse, complete new dimensions to mankind in the middle of a pandemic. And we say, yeah, no, but it's happening, but we are still going on, and we are going to the next level. We are going beyond anything we have done so far. So that's amazing, and I think 2022 will be a big step in that way. And I hope to have you with me on that trip, on that journey, and also learn from your experiences, your journeys. I love the questions I ask you. I love the polls and the conversations we have in the Facebook group, also sometimes at a live stream. So that's really beautiful. So yeah, have a great start into 2022. I hope you enjoy your Sylvester night and the first day. Don't overdo it with the alcohol or other substances, and stay safe, and maybe keep it a little bit low on the fireworks, because not so great for natures and for pets. My cat is really happy if there is no bang bang, and more a little bit of good yum yum at the at the New Year's Eve, some special cat food. All right. Have a good night and see you next year. Bye.